Hey, it was big week.
It was a big week.
Big week in the world of space exploration. Do you believe that?
Judging by the graphics, not a fucking hope.
The Indian moon landing is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Now, if people aren't sure we went the first time, there's no way anyone's believing this one.
Yeah, like, so what was the first one? 1960s, 1970s?
Jesus. It looks like it was generated with PlayStation 2 graphics.
I thought it was somebody cut together like clips of like Indian people in a station being like, oh yeah.
Now there is a lot of funny clips going around. There's one with clips of the Indian moon landing and the astronauts, and they're at the flag going, fucking, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Not fuck you, sir.
It's fucking brilliant. I don't know what to believe anymore.
Well, look, especially from my perspective of the job that I do as a designer and everything, like,
this is probably an awful thing to ask. What is your job other than being here?
Yeah, coming from the man that pays me, like, fucking.
No, I pay you well, but I'm not paying for all that merc, surely.
No, yeah, you're not paying for the full merc. No, my job basically is a designer and editor. So whether that be graphics for companies, so like companies will come to me and rebrand themselves, or new companies that need logos, need a branding, all that, they'll come to me.
Why does a company have to rebrand? Because the CEO fingered their granny or something?
No, like, so a lot of rebranding that I seen came mainly actually through COVID, and it was a pride thing, trying to be like, our company's doing great. See, we're going and spending thousands on rebranding the company. We're not going downhill at all.
Changing the name?
No, not changing the name necessarily, but updating your logo or updating to a new design or colour scheme or anything like that. And like, realistically, a lot of
Bud Light done.
Yeah, well, what they done was super clever. It was super clever. It really was, yeah.
Did they not lose billions?
They did, but sorry, I should probably preface that with what they done ended up not working for them, but it got every person in the world talking about Bud Light, which is massive marketing and free marketing.
So that was good.
It was good, but it didn't pay out for them. Basically, they took a shot. I believe that was the intention of what they did. They took a shot.
They're gone the other way now. All patriotic.
See the amount of video, which is crazy, because you had your market. Like, you were the number one brand.
Did new ad?
No.
It's so like they're like gone the totally other way. Real manly. This whole. Nuclear family thing and veterans and the flag. It's mad.
Back to the boomers.
Yeah.
But so basically, so a lot of companies would come to me and basically ask me, is that a good idea? And I'd be like, fuck no. Like, because I believe it's a minority that's going to make happy, basically. And you're shooting the 90% of the population that buys your product and taking them away from you.
Well, everyone's catering to the minority now, isn't it?
I know, but that I can't see how that is beneficial in business. Now, it's obviously very different in America. Your Bud Light drinkers in America, a lot of them would have, or not even a lot of them, but in general in America, there's an us versus them mentality. Like, in Ireland, a lot of people just walk along being like, I don't give a fuck what that person over there is doing, and I don't care as long as it doesn't affect me. But America seems to be, whether it's because they have a massive population or what it is, it seems to be a lot more of right wing versus left wing, liberals and fucking whatever, So I think that causes more arguments on that side of things.
Could it be just the media? I think it's all hyped. I think the normal everyday person is quite average and doesn't really get involved. But the media is so polarized, that's what it looks like.
But that's it. Like, if people look at their like broadcasting or whatever, and they look at the like Fox News, CNN News or whatever, right? Which again caters to political values. Like, each one in America seems to cater to political values, and there's so many people that depend on the news as their source. And
what's your source of news?
I actually just if I see shit on like online, like I follow like news articles and stuff online, but I couldn't give a fuck.
Do you follow more Irish news or international news?
More so Irish would pop up. Like, again, even saying that though, like, it's sports and stuff with me, I political wise, I'm not one of these people that wants to go mad shitting on the government or anything, because I actually just don't care. And that sounds really naive
So
and ignorant.
unpatriotic.
But it sounds really naive and ignorant. And I've had this like with loads of people, and I try to explain it loads of times that like the government is the way it is because like everybody says we elect them and then they fuck us over and then they go and do whatever they're going to do, right? And I'm sitting there going, I don't believe there's anybody that will go into that job that won't change. Whether you went in with the best of intentions in the world, I would look at it and say, you're going to change. You're going to start taking those benefits. You're going to start, like, when you're getting paid this much, like, and maybe that's just me. I'm a very money-driven person.
I would not like to be in politics either. But at the same time, I like a little bit of honesty.
Yeah, well, there's that side of it too. Like, you don't get
on
a
the
lot of
blatant
that
stuff.
yeah.
You know, on the real weird stuff, the stuff that's totally blatant. Like,
You know, I'm mad into my comedy and stuff, so I do see a lot of shit that's going on in the world through comedic guys, which is funny, and through podcasts and stuff.
Do you think Irish comedians are good?
I do, yeah. I like Irish comedians, but again, it's the ones that are actually willing to say shit.
Who's that now?
Like, let's say old school Tommy Tiernan, like that kind of stuff, not what RTE are willing to let them say and shit like that. It was the same when the two Johnnies started off. I thought they were fantastic. I really met the guys a couple of times and really actually liked who they were and stuff like that. I haven't listened to their podcast in, I'd say, a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And
do you listen to the radio show?
No, Jesus, not a hope. And that's what I'm saying. Their podcast could still be the same. Which
have you got athlete's foot? Text in 51552. Let's talk about your athlete's foot.
Exactly, and that's so. I listen to a show called The Bonfire, which is on Sirius XM.
Radio.
Yeah, it's a radio show, right? And it's an American radio show on Sirius XM, and Sirius XM was the one where
it's that digital.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the one that Ricky Gervais had his show on years ago with Carl Pilkington and
that's the one that was
Stephen
turned
Merchant.
into loads of cartoons.
Yes,
so funny.
Right, so that's Sirius XM. That's an actual radio station, right, in America. And I listen to their show every day after it's recorded and put out because I wouldn't be awake or whatever at the times that they're doing it or all that shit. Their radio compared to our radio is fucking mental.
In what way?
So like their show, they're cursing their heads off. They're talking about anything they want to talk about. They're talking about doing crack. They're talking about the drugs they take.
In the middle of the day as well?
Yeah, this is daytime radio.
It's on a digital radio station.
Yeah,
surely on the normal ones it's PC enough.
I imagine it is. Yeah, it is a digital, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think there's. I could be completely wrong, and if I am, I am. But I don't think there's anything like that in Ireland.
There's definitely more free speech in America, but things have watered down a lot.
Yeah.
Like, even if you watch, like, one of my favorite programs is The Office, but
yes.
I also like the American Office.
I prefer the American Office.
I don't. Fuck you. Right?
But it's because it's the one I watched first. Is why I think I prefer it.
But if you watch the American Office, like, the jokes in that would never fly now. And they're and even older, like white chicks would never be made.
Yeah, not a hope.
Tropic Thunder, not a chance.
that was according to, like, that was squeezing by just about at the time anyway. Like,
yeah.
But I can't understand if you don't like something and it's not harming you. Just don't go to see that comedian. Don't go to that show. Or if you end up there by mistake and say,
no, but everyone knows that. And that's why people don't go if someone sells tickets.
Yeah, but that's why it's a personality trait to want to fucking moan. It's a personality trait to want to start a witch hunt at fucking
people are soft now, aren't they?
But that's it. That's
why.
What
amazes me though, right? So you know all these young people are really soft now.
Yeah.
And like, you know, one of these people are going to go to the electric picnic.
Yeah.
To torture. if you were to write down, and loads of people have asked me all week, are you going to the picnic? Are you going to the picnic? If I was to write down all the things that I would hate on a list, it would be the electric picnic. Crowds, muck, nowhere to piss, nowhere to shy.
Yeah.
Drunk people everywhere, everyone pushing, just crowds. I'd hate that.
Right, so I live across the road from the picnic, so first of all, I get my tickets for fucking pretty much next to nothing.
Nice one.
So that's that side of things taken care of. I go home every night, no matter what time it is. I don't camp there. I fucking hate camping at festivals. I just think it's horrible. So I don't have the shit that a lot of people have. Yeah, no, I have. Yeah, I done camped at Independence Festival, and
where was that?
Down in Cork.
Much riding at that now?
Yeah, I was only about 16 at the time, but yeah.
Were you doing a lot of riding with that?
No. I went with my ex-girlfriend and her father. So, but we came out with a tent.
Tell me later.
No, I swear, we came out of the tent one morning and it was the funniest thing ever. There was a burger chip van fucking thing like in our camping area, and there was just two people at like I'd say 8 a.m. in the morning just riding on top of the burger van.
Oh my God. Why on the burger van?
I have no idea. So you had to climb up and get on the roof, and then it's a place that everybody sees you. Exhibitionists, I assume.
Fuck me. Were they even good-looking people? There's just big flabby
I
hole.
genuinely can't remember.
Here's that balls.
I also don't know if I can say, because if I was 16, they were definitely about 16.
Oh
so.
yeah, was that a young person festival?
No, it wasn't. Like, indie's still a massive festival, and it's just like a mini picnic.
Does
really.
anyone listen to indie music anymore?
I don't, like, it depends. Like, do you still count
that gone?
Arctic Monkeys and stuff like that as indie? Like, I listen.
They'd be more soft rock now, wouldn't they?
They are now, and that's the sense. So I listen to like Inhaler, say, right, or come
Never heard.
at the picnic. Right? It's Bono's son, right? And I had never heard of them until I was at Sam Fender a couple of months back and seen a sign for Inhaler, and my mate said to me, "That's Bono's son. They're playing the picnic." I've been listening to them non-stop for the last couple of weeks, and they're fucking savage. And I would consider it indie.
Indie.
Yeah.
And what do you consider indie that I know?
Original Arctic Monkeys.
And what was Oasis?
Yeah, Oasis fell into a weird category, and I'm big into my music, like, but Oasis kind of seemed to take the end of grunge, bring in a little bit of rock and roll, and fucking
Radiohead.
Radiohead, yeah, soft rock for me.
Sinead O'Connor. Forget about nothing compared to you.
Yeah.
What was she? She was indie.
I'm not gonna lie to you, mate. I only know about 2 Sinead O'Connor songs.
Really?
I hate Sinead O'Connor.
Did you jump on the wagon?
No, fucking that annoyed me more than I feel like a cunt when people die and they're in the public eye or whatever, right?
Thank God. I'd hate if you were jumping for joy every time someone died.
But that's it. And it's actually other people's shit on social media that makes me hate the person that died.
You don't hate the person that
No,
died.
I don't hate them.
You're
but
just pissed off that they're dead.
No, I'm not
because you
pissed
have
off
to
that
listen to
they're-
the shy
yeah,
about them.
Yeah, kind of. Like, I seen a lot of people that I know, and like fucking that you know, that we would know together, and the tributes were like fucking.
I was mad.
But I'm also a type of person that I can't understand why somebody is posting on social media when it's Mother's Day or when it's Father's Day, and they're posting up happiest Mother's Day to you, Mom, or happiest Father's Day to you, Dad, or whatever. And I'm just like, just fucking ring them or go see them or talk to them. Very different if you're
But it's a
passed away.
a public show of affection. I don't mind that when it's someone you know.
Yeah, but is that not to validate them?
It's when yeah, but with a family thing it might be different. You know, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, look, I don't either, and then I'm sure there's a lot of people.
When it's someone you don't know that's died,
yeah,
and you pop, this is for, you know, I feel so sorry. You know, who's that comedian, that blonde-headed, really good-looking chap? He's an American guy. He has that bit where when something happens in Syria or some horrible tsunami hits, and this person in fucking London or in LA puts up like, our thoughts and prayers are with it. It's not that they feel sorry for him. It's just that they're thinking, I know this bad thing has happened, but look at me.
Yeah, if it was. Do you remember back when Paris got bombed that time, and everybody changed their profile picture, right? Now I can't remember what age I was when that happened, and I remember saying to myself, like, there was loads of people then commenting under anybody who did change their profile picture to, and what about what's going on in Libya and Syria and this, that and the other, and I don't see anybody posting. And I always had the point in my head, because I don't get into arguments with people on social media, because it's always stupid people shouting the loudest, and the smart people decide not to have a conversation with these people, right? And I remember thinking to myself at the time, I was like, the wars that you're talking about, that why aren't people putting their profile pictures to those, have been going on for a long, long time, right? And I'm not saying that makes them any more justified or anything like that, but it's happening every day. Paris getting bombed it was such a strange phenomenon to happen at the time, and especially it's somewhere that any of our family members, anybody in Europe, their family members could be in at that time. I'd find it very hard pressed in Laois to find somebody who's in fucking Syria.
Yeah.
You know, on their holidays or whatever. And that was my point of that. I was like, that's why it gripped the nation.
It hits home a little.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that stabbing in France. That was terrifying.
Yeah.
Because it was playground, kids, you know, you can relate to it.
Yeah, well, I don't have kids, but it's still a shocking fucking thing, like, and I'm sure for you that is an even more terrifying. Yeah.
You may fucking have a few. Are you ever giving us an old day out?
Am I giving you a day out? What's that?
Jess, you don't understand that terminology. That's the difference.
Oh, it's in like a christening or a wedding.
That's the difference, everyone, between the young and the old. It's a wedding.
Yeah, no, yeah, it will be on the cards, yeah.
Will it?
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Doing out the list the other night, it was like, David's on it.
Hey, it's not fucking easy.
No, I can't, like...
Do you want to hear about my week?
I absolutely do.
Well, I'll tell you about my week now, right? I went on a holiday that I had fucking no time to go on, but we went off
up to Donegal, yeah.
Went up to Donegal for a couple of days. Fucking grand. How cheaper is Donegal than here?
Oh, it's crazy.
It's mental.
Crazy.
Like, we went to get the same thing we get all the time. So if the kids on a Saturday night get a pizza.
Yeah, okay.
And we get it delivered out to the house. Now, I know we live in Cameras, but just throw away that €5-6 delivery or whatever. Yeah. But for what we get is always about maybe €40, 45.
Do you get it from 5-star?
Yeah.
That's a fucking unbelievable food.
Yeah, so get the delivery out, €40-45. We went up to Donegal, went into a pizza place. It was actually Apache.
Okay, right.
We got twice as much food for the same money.
Go away.
Twice as much food. Every restaurant we went into was cheaper. The shop was cheaper. We're getting rolled down here.
And were they like, I know you were saying Apache for the food, but like the shops and that, were they like mom and pop shops? Or
what's that mean?
Run by like people that you would know from around the town, not a big Tesco or not a big fucking...
No, there was Super Value. There was
and they were cheaper than...
Everything was cheaper.
Okay.
Everything was cheaper. Now maybe it's because they are living in a place where you could fuck off over the border if you're not happy. Maybe there's a little bit more competition.
I imagine there would, because it's not like driving 4 hours up the fucking from down south.
It was so much more cheap. It was unbelievable. But we went up and then we came home, and when we were driving up the driveway, Vicky rings me and she goes, "What the fuck is after happening on the lawn?" And I just cut the lawn before we left.
Of your house, yeah?
Yeah. And I looked in, I was there. I have no fucking idea. I thought someone was after coming in. I thought first cows were after getting in or something.
Right.
And then we were looking at it and there was no cow tracks and there was no cow shit. And it looked like there was actually a stampede of cows through the lawn.
It was pulled up like, is it?
Holes. Just holes everywhere. Holes everywhere.
You fucking got gophers or something.
Well, we didn't know. And I put it up my story because we were so confused.
Yeah.
Because I thought maybe young lads were after coming in knowing we were on holidays, but there was nothing on the cameras.
Okay.
Now, we've no cameras facing the lawn, obviously, but there was nothing.
Maybe don't put that out on the podcast.
Well, but there's none facing the lawn. You'd have some. Well, we have now. We've loads of cameras, but there was nothing around the house.
Okay.
And then it was everywhere, and like it was there. What's going on here? So I put up my story, and after about 10 minutes, hundreds of messages. Badgers. It's badgers that do it. So
Great.
yeah, they come in. Suppose because we had dog gone for a couple of days.
Right.
And
okay.
they didn't have the smell, and they just found a lovely little place where they could root up these little leather jackets. They're called the larvae that they lay an egg on the dandelion roots, and they just lose their mind for it. It's like catnip for them. But I had no way of proving it was a badger, so I had to go off and
take them to court.
Sure, we had to get cameras in the Oaks. Three of the bastards.
3 of them was causing that much havoc.
Wrecked the place. Destroyed. Like the whole lawn is destroyed.
And so it was the dog that kept them away before that, was it?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. And they're protected, so there's nothing you can do.
Are they?
Yeah, they're a protected species, so there's nothing you can do.
Even if one's attacking it?
Well, I'm sure you can protect yourself. If one attacks me, I'm grand. I may make sure the 3 attack me at once. And I get out my nunchucks or something.
Does the stick thing work?
No, I don't know. I'm not fucking gonna try and find out anyway. But they're fucking bastards. I'm 43 years living in the country, and I never knew that a little animal could do that much harm.
They're big enough for us, though, aren't they?
They're big bastards, and they're frightening. Like, I've been walking a few woods, and were you ever in woods now that we'd be working in the way they're planted. And you have the
No,
rows.
like I'd be walking tracks of woods or
Well,
that. Like,
we'd be walking the woods to see what way to cut them. So you're in the forest.
Yeah, yeah.
And often they come running at you. They come running down the fucking wood, fighting shite out of you. And they're small little legs, and they're real fucking hardy looking.
Yeah. And is that a protective thing? Have you walked into their area or they feel threatened or?
No, yeah, maybe, but they don't be out during the day a lot. But they're
Okay.
protected, as in you're not allowed to touch them. You're like, when we're in the wood, we have to keep buffer zones around them and mind their little habitats.
Are they blind?
Don't think so. I don't know. Sure, fuck it,
I don't
they're
know
only
what's
out
in
at
my
night.
head. Yeah.
But
I don't know what's in my
bastard
head.
badgers, I hate them.
Badgers.
Right, I do not like badgers. So I'm after dealing with them for the last fucking 4 or 5 nights, and I was trying to figure out how to get them. And you're supposed to get this stuff that they don't like, and the smell of them, and hope that they fuck off. And
And it hasn't stopped since the dog's been back now.
it has a bit now. Yeah, but
Okay, probably take a few days
But
for him to
believe it or
get
not, now,
sent
do you
around.
know what I'm doing? Every time I need to piss, I'm going outside and I'm pissing in all the places that
Fuck off.
yeah, everyone's after telling me we have to piss. I'm trying to piss in all the places they come in. So I'm going around with a flashlight saying, oh, he comes in there, they come in here, and I'm pissing everywhere.
You were going to be pissing in one of them holes one night and he's going to come up
I
and
haven't
just bite
pissed in my
your
toilet
dick
at
off.
home in fucking a week. Every bit of piss I have, I'm thinking of inviting all my neighbours and friends to piss all around my yard.
It's the weirdest. That would be the weirdest sight ever from driving through the past on the road.
But imagine I'm living in the country my lifetime and never seen that.
Yeah, that's what I thought was weird when you said it. Like, is that it just popped up?
Cunts.
But did you enjoy being away in Donegal? You were up in Sean's at one stage, were you?
I went to visit my brother. He
Yeah.
lives in Donegal, and we called in one of the days. It's you don't like bringing 4 kids and fucking into someone's house. It's not exactly the most relaxing scenario.
yeah.
You know, you walk into your brother's house, it's like a fucking dollhouse, and there's little things everywhere, and like little trophies.
And I seen the good room because I remember we had talked about
See the
that on
good
the
room?
podcast with him, and I was like, I thought he was joking when he was on the podcast. That looks like it hasn't been touched since
He never lit
1980.
his fire in it.
That's crazy.
And he has another room upstairs with all these trophies, with all these little, you know, the golden discs,
Yeah.
and the platinum discs and all that over it.
It looked like a stunning house, though. It really
It's
looked
a
like it
nice
really
house.
looked nice.
It's
Yeah.
a nice house, but not a house to bring a 3-year-old and a fucking baby and another 2 kids that are fucking wild. And it was 4.5 hours up, and it took about 7 hours.
Can I genuinely ask you what it's like? Because I love driving, and what is it like to drive somewhere for 4.5 hours with 4 children in the car?
It takes 7 hours because they're piss breaks, and they don't piss all at one time. Poo
Yeah.
breaks, breastfeeding breaks, and like I said, that was just me. No, they always have to stop. And
Yeah,
the minute-
but actually being in the car,
mayhem.
is it annoying? It's mayhem. It's
it's just crying, and
Yeah.
shouting, and screaming.
you want to get some sort of form of like a limo window that just
they're
comes
all
up.
fighting with each other, and then sometimes when it's silence, it's like just someone is asleep. It's mostly just Jane. Jane's the noisy one in our house.
Okay, yeah.
You know, that we had the new baby, and he's so good. Like, he's so quiet. He's the best baby we ever had.
Yeah.
As in, he's so timid. And Jane, oh my god.
Because Clark seems like, I've met Clark a couple of times. He seems really calm.
No,
And-
he's grand.
yeah,
He's
and
happy
Lily's
with-
old enough now to obviously not be like, she's not going to be screaming the fucking
No,
house down or
but her
anything,
and Clark fight now.
Do they? Yeah.
I sure, of course, do. You have a sister,
No.
brother?
Yeah, older brother. Yeah.
Do you fight with him?
Not anymore. Used to. Yeah.
Thank God, he's not dead now. Or anything.
No, Jesus.
That,
no.
see, that could be a way that could go. No, not anymore. Really? Yeah, he's dead.
No, we used to when we fought like kids do when we were younger.
How older is he than you?
2 years, so there wasn't that much between
Are you
us.
close?
Yeah, but we used to be super close. Then weren't for a long time, and now we are again.
Does he golf?
No, I brought him out a couple of evenings. He really enjoys it, but he's not good at it.
Matt's mad into his golf. Loves his fucking golf.
Last 3 tournaments came in the top 3. Starting to get up there now.
Wait, in Portage?
The Heat is my home club.
Oh, the golf course with cheap.
Yes, it's annoying sometimes.
Have you ever shot one?
I've hit a few, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And it's horrible when it when it happens because they took up one of their hind legs as if you've just broke their leg, and like you haven't. Like you see them fucking, they're grand, but they just hobble away, and you're like, oh
Who owns them?
fuck.
It's like
the
common land.
farmers around, yeah, because the heat is common land. That's why we can't do anything on the golf course of like keeping them off it or anything like that.
So do you pay to use the golf course?
Yeah, so my membership was $350 for the year.
Fuck.
Yeah, and it's higher the older you get, which I find really weird. So I was talking to somebody on the weekend about it, and apparently, I think they might have my age wrong or something, but apparently, like, I'm going to have to look at paying $650 for next year. Like,
fuck that.
Yeah.
You'd have to be going out twice a week for that to be worthwhile.
I am. You see, like that's how we kind of worked it out when we started. Like, so it's €15 to €20 for a round of golf out there, and like we would play maybe 3-4 times a week.
By God, you lived the fucking dream, boy.
Now saying it, like evenings you're only going out for 9 holes, like you're not playing the full 18 or anything like that. But yeah, you have free time to do it. Like at the moment. I think I'm just getting it all in now before I get married or have kids. That I can.
Yeah, does your woman play golf?
No, she likes coming out for the walk or that. But
she walks around with you while you're playing golf?
Sometimes, yeah.
That's not going to fucking last, let me tell you. That won't fucking last. I remember Vicky went with me to work once. Once.
To work?
To work.
Okay.
She sat in the machine for one evening. That was it. She never came again. And when we were there, she was happy enough. Oh, this is grand, this is grand. I knew she wasn't happy.
Yeah.
I knew she wasn't happy.
No, well, you see, we played down in, which was a fucking amazing experience. We played down in Trump's in Doonbeg there. So Trump International Hotel down in Doonbeg a couple of weeks back. And she came with us and went to the spa for the day, which was lovely. And
Can't say that. That's another one of them things you just can't say anymore.
She went to a special therapy room.
All right.
Right.
Okay.
And like they looked after her for the day, and she was doing all the pampering shit and stuff, and we were out playing golf, and I'd never stepped on a golf course like this. I never had the service and treatment that I had down there. It was crazy.
Talk to me.
So we walked in, right, and it was my first time being in the place. And I had been on the beach before around it and stuff like that, but went in and walked straight through to the locker rooms, right? Now with big security doors on the locker rooms and everything with codes and shit to get in, right? And I walked up and this fella at the locker room, there was a reception in the locker room, and he was like, Mr. Kerry, can I show you to your locker?
How do you know it was you?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know either.
Right, okay.
I was standing there going, what the fuck, like? So I assume it's because you have like a time to tee off and stuff like that. So they're probably looking at the book and going, okay, so this is the group coming in now or whatever. So he was like, can I show you to your locker? And I was just like, I assume I just fucking picked one, like. And when we went over, he showed me my locker and I looked at the door, right? And there's a slot for your name to go into. You know, usually to see paper or whatever in it. Solid silver bar with your name engraved on it, and on the back of it then is the big Trump stamp for the hotel or whatever, right? The hotel's coat of arms. And I was like, what the fuck, like that? I just thought that was amazing. If there's people serving you drinks in the locker room and asking you, do you want that? And Premier League was just after starting back that weekend. There's a big TV with massive armchairs and lounge chairs, right? You go down into the showers then.
Naked.
Yeah. So we walked down.
Everyone, dicks out.
Yeah, dick swinging. Like fucking, it was like these people have so much money, right? That
they can't cover their dicks.
I don't think they give a fuck. Like whether you had the tiniest dick in the world, you have so much money you don't care. Like they just stop
I think
caring.
you'd care.
I think you would too, personally. But so you go down and like there's just, I mean, like the top brands of shaving gel, right? There's like 20 fucking yolks of shaving gel, razors, the best razors, towels, fucking robes, everything, right? Showers were amazing. So then we go out and we left there and we went out and got a coffee, had a beer before we started.
These visions of you all running to showers. Come on, guys. Yeah. Let's go shower. They're amazing. The water's great in here. Come on.
Check out the water pressure. It was savage. And then we went down to the driving range, and the driving range was...
Is that like a warm-up?
Yeah, pretty much just, get a bit comfortable with your swing, how you're feeling, stuff like that. And
different world.
It is. It absolutely is. But... It was their driving range was better than most golf courses I've ever seen, right? Which was mad. And then we went out into the course and it was like stepping on carpet. I just couldn't get over it. And so with this, we're watching helicopters fly in and out like every 10 minutes, right? The hotel has like a couple of helicopters that you just see flying around the place. And what they're doing is they're flying to Shannon to pick up the Americans that flew into Shannon and then fly them to the hotel. So
is there a lot of Americans down there?
yeah, the majority of it seemed to be American from people I was talking to in the evening when we went for dinner or stuff like that. But so we were obviously 3 Irish guys, and we were on the second hole, and we see like this buggy flying down towards us, and we're like, what the fuck? And these 2 people got off, and they were just after being flown in from Shannon on the helicopter. And this guy was a massive portfolio manager for Morgan Stanley in America, like, so dealing with
Shout out
billions.
to Morgan Stanley.
yeah. So dealing with like a shitload of money and people's money and stuff like that. And we were like, oh shit. Now, before we even knew what he did or who he was or anything like that, we were like, we kind of just wanted the 3 of us to have a laugh for the day, you know. And now there's a 4th guy here and his
Have
missus.
you no choice but to take him on?
No, he booked in. So there's 4 slots, 4 slots max when you're playing golf. And
But some stranger could.
yeah, I've played golf with a lot of strangers, and usually they end up being sound. So he ended up being sound. Not dickheads.
You know, these lads that
though.
just know everything.
Yeah.
You know the pool in the Titanic is still full.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've had dickheads. I've had more so guys play with you that like have thousands and thousands worth of golf clubs in their bag and stuff like that, and they're not good golfers. And like you know, like my clubs aren't expensive. I didn't spend much money on my stuff. I'd like to at some stage, but I don't see the point of it if you're not like a fantastic golfer. I know it makes you feel better when you get a new club and stuff. But so this guy ended up being really nice. His missus was with him. She came to walk the course, and because it's up on the side of the beach and you're looking out over the sea and all, so it was lovely. But then you get to the halfway hut and they're serving you pints halfway through the round and stuff like. And
How did they get him out there? Little buggies.
The halfway hut.
Oh, that's just in the
There's
middle.
an actual building built halfway through the course to
fuck.
serve you pints and food and drinks and whatever you want, you know. And
That's cool.
yeah, and then so when Kate finished in the spa, like
Can't say that.
in the special therapy room,
Yeah.
like some guy just drove her down on a buggy to meet us and then walked the course and stuff. And we went for dinner then. Well, we went and had a pint after the round, and it was the best fucking golf I've ever played in my life. It was just really such a good experience.
So you are fucking selling this.
Yeah, no, it really was. And like,
I want fucking €8,000 off fucking Donald Trump tomorrow morning.
and like, I'm not gonna lie, right? So what I'm about to say is gonna sound completely stupid and ridiculous, and it more than likely is.
Can't wait for this.
But I also get it. It's €400 for a round of golf there, right?
Just let that silence hang for a minute.
Yeah. And like, so the Americans coming in working with Morgan Stanley and stuff, it means nothing to them. Like, it really, it's the
Was that a bucket list thing you done? Just you and the lads? Or is it something that you'll just save up and get your 400?
No, I'm going down again in a couple of weeks.
Is that including your...
No.
That's not including staying in the hotel?
No.
That's just to tee off.
Yeah, that's literally just to spend the 3-4 hours playing the round of golf, and that's it. And we actually
One of your friends didn't go around treating Slurpee Dirk someone.
No. It was an uncle of mine.
An uncle?
yeah, he's slurping up for people. No, he's done really well in business in the last couple of years, and I mean like super fucking well. And he really likes to not show off money. He's never showing off money because he knows what it's like to not have it. And so like he really likes to treat people and that, like family and stuff like that, you know. So I'm
gonna start hanging with him.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a few people that hang with me like that.
Yeah, and so like it's great. So like he had such a good time. He was like, "Look, lads, let's just do this again now in 2 or 3 weeks. Let's come down. Look, we're just gonna shoot a text. Say weather's good. Let's go." Fucking. So I was like, "Yeah, fine, perfect."
Easy cheat at that game.
It's ridiculously easy to cheat at that game.
I was listening to an episode of Joe Rogan where an awful lot of business deals are done on the golf course because the person that's watching that other person wants to see, can that person be trusted?
I've brought people golfing for that exact reason.
Really?
Yeah.
So how do you know if they're like, can they cheat in front of you without you knowing? Like, how do they do that? Just moving balls?
Well, you can do that, or like, so if you're taking it very serious, you will swap scorecards with each other. So I have to mark your scorecard and you have to mark mine. So I can't write down whatever scores I want for me. But I've seen people, like you'll be playing with people and they'll turn around and be like, "Oh, I got a 5 on that last hole." And like, I'll think about it in my head and be like, "You got a fucking 8. Like, you know, and so that's one way of cheating. Obviously, as you say, moving the ball or whatever. I'm not going to fucking be stuck beside you or whatever, you know. Fucking if you're in the rough and I'm not watching you, I'm sure you're kicking the ball into a better position or whatever. I don't know, maybe. But it's more so what I like to see is people's reactions to when they're having a bad day or they're stressed. Because I want to see how you handle that.
Do you want to hear something mad?
Yeah, go on.
When I was young, lad. Now, this is before I knew anything about golf. I used to think it was an evil game.
Why?
I used to think that you couldn't.
Because it was obviously just rich cunts playing.
No. I thought because I didn't know, I was just stupidity.
Yeah.
I thought that you couldn't play unless you had an actual handicap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you elaborate on that one a little bit.
I thought that you had to play with a handicapped person and the different ages. I know. And I thought that I was there thinking, this is a fucking weird game. That you go, and I thought the person, do you know the caddy?
Yeah.
They were all handicaps.
Right.
And I remember the day that I figured out that wasn't real, because the age of the handicap didn't match the age that I was looking at on telly.
The number.
It was just, we were at some golf course or something. I was there, handicap. I don't get that. Where's the handicap? I thought, I was like, geez, that's a horrible way to be treating people. Like.
So had you never heard of the term handicap, but not in golf, like as in anything really? That's a handicap.
It was just the way it was. I remember I was young now. Now, this isn't me last year. I was a chap. But I remember thinking it was strange.
Okay, yeah, no, look, trying to understand it when you start.
Now, I know now that's not the case, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, I found out is it Titleist a fancy ball?
Yes, yeah.
Titleist
Pro V1.
Yeah, I was listening to a thing on YouTube where they're really expensive. $60 for
12, I think.
12, yeah. And they're making them for like 12 cents.
Yeah.
That's money.
Like Strixon, which would be considered not a good make, or the lowest say on them, have a ball that they have proven goes the exact same distance, gives you the exact same ball speed, all of that stuff. Now, I do challenge people that aren't amazing golfers to really see a difference in them. Like, and look, I'm not an amazing golfer. I'm an all right golfer.
Are you an amazing lover?
Always, baby. But I can see a difference in golf balls. But like what I'm saying is, you're not going to get an extra 40 yards out of just hitting, because the ball's different for an average player, like, or whatever.
Yeah, you have to be at the top end for that to make a difference.
Yeah. Or like, you know, like my best mate plays off 6, which is.
I mean,
his handicap is 6.
All right.
And
so young.
I can barely carry the clubs.
There's so much disregard to go, isn't there?
But yeah, no, he plays off 6, which like is crazy, because like scratch is a professional, like 0 is professional. Like.
Yeah. And if you get to a 0, you just can't. Like, does that mean? Oh, look, this is my score. I've proved that I'm a 0. You have to let me do the big ones. There has to be more to being a professional than getting a 0 score.
No, there is. Like, the reason it's so hard to be a professional is the money side of things, is because you get invited to these tournaments, right? And it's obviously your sponsors are paying for you to go to these tournaments and stuff like that when you're a massive professional. Like if you're Rory McIlroy, that's all sorted for you or whatever, you know. Anybody trying to break into the professional scene will have to pay, will be invited to go play, say, in Dubai or America or whatever, but they'll have to cover getting there, the accommodation, the whatever, right? And so with the PGA, the tournaments are 4 days, so Thursday and Friday, and then from 70th down gets cut after Friday. And if you don't make the cut, you don't get paid anything for the weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's only the top 70 to get paid, whereas where Live Golf come in.
So is there millionaires that are really good that can just pay their own way and do what they want?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you can, well, you obviously have to be a good golfer as well, or you're not getting your PGA Tour card. They can rub shoulders with
all the cool guys.
Yeah.
Just if you pay.
Yeah. So like the Irish Open's on in Kildare in September.
Might be going.
Yeah. I'm looking at going as well. But like Rory McIlroy and a lot of big golfers are going to be there, like. Like that one last year in Adair Manor, fucking, I think it was Adair anyway. Like Bill Murray and a load of celebrities and that were at.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, it might not have been last year, maybe 2 years ago or whatever, but.
Adair's deadly.
Yeah, you were at the wedding there, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did you ever go to a wedding in Adair or anywhere like that?
No.
Why you were never in Adair?
No,
we
I don't
talked
think
about this
so.
the last day. No, Adair is the one you want to play on. You just haven't played in that one yet.
Yeah, so the guy that was playing golf for us that day, he actually wasn't even staying in Trumps. He was staying in Adair and playing Adair the next day. Yeah.
Yeah. You should try that one. I'd love to see what your view is on that golf course because everyone says that's cool.
Yeah, sure. They're right.
See what the comparison is between the two of them.
Yeah, no, and I would love to be going to these type of like Ryle County Down and stuff like the K Club. Fucking, although I don't think the K Club is that expensive anymore, but I would love to see that difference and how well maintained the course is and what you get for your money when you walk in the door. Say how you're treated and stuff like that is.
You know the way you're going to the picnic?
Yeah.
So what are you looking forward to seeing most? What band?
Inhaler.
And is there tents with raves and all that weird stuff?
There is. I've never went to them. I've never went to the Rave in the Woods, which is like the thing after all the acts stop.
Silent discos?
I'm sure there is. I haven't went to one.
Are you looking forward to the muck?
I'm hoping it's going to be a dry enough weekend, but it really doesn't. It doesn't bother me. I wear Doc Martens when I go in there.
Every truck show has been a disaster this year.
Yeah.
Everything's been a mess.
I don't think it's supposed to be that good for the weekend anyway.
I don't think it's good. Sure, the ground is never dried up.
I'm not going to lie though. I like gigs in the rain.
Why?
So when I went to Sam Fender there during the year, it had held off all day, really sunny, really nice day, and we were in Malahide for it. And the minute he walked on stage, because to me it's like filming or something. I look at life in scenes or something, and the minute he was like, "Dublin, how the fuck are you?" and struck the guitar, I mean the heavens opened up and it started lashing. And like there's a video I think of me just going fucking mad when it started lashing and the music's going, and especially when you love that music. It's different when you're at the picnic and you're just seeing an act that you don't have a fucking clue about or whatever. But I loved it. It's just real cinematic to me or something that the heavens have opened up. It's lashing rain, you're going mental, and the music's class.
Aren't I a fierce born bastard?
You're at a different stage of life to me, and I look up to the stage of life that you're at, and I cannot wait to have a family. I cannot wait to be married.
Even when I was young lad, if I was to tell you the concerts I've been at, you'd laugh your whole off. Like Michael Jackson, Shania Twain, Backstreet Boys.
How would you know? Did you want to go see them?
Yeah.
You wanted to go see them?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was trying to give you a fucking rope there.
No, there's no rope. I loved the Michael Jackson concert. I thought it was savage.
I'm sure that.
But I didn't like the crowd.
Yeah.
I didn't like the whole. And I went to an Oasis concert and I hated every bit of it.
Go away.
I was terrified.
What, the riot was just going to break out? Or
just everyone was so rough.
Really? Yeah.
I just felt everyone was so rough. Now, hey,
I think
I was a young lad and I was harmless. We were harmless enough back then.
Yeah.
And everyone was fucking drunk and they were jumping around, they were jumping into you, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is what I fucking had planned for tonight.
I'm like you, right? So as I say, I like to go mental at Sam Fender and stuff like that, right? But I hate being in a situation where I don't like the crowd, and I don't because I don't like people in on top of me. I don't like being in areas like that. But there seemed to be something different.
That an orgy.
Yeah. There seemed to be something
showers in Doonbeg.
Yeah. There seemed to be something different, like when. So when we went to a pub in Malahide before we went down to the gig, because we got out there at 4:00, and I went upstairs for a smoke, and I mean this pub was jammed, right? And I hate packed pubs, and went upstairs for a smoke, and there was a group of Geordie lads, because Sam Fender is from Newcastle, right? And there was a group of Geordie lads, and the speaker started playing a Sam Fender song, right? Now the whole pub went fucking mental because everybody in the pub was there to see Sam Fender, and
there was a unity.
Yeah, and that's actually what it kind of felt like, and nobody was a dickhead. There was nobody falling in on top of you and starting arguments.
Was that because you were in good form though?
Probably that is a lot of it, because if I'm not in good form, I do end up fucking in arguments with people, or if you're pushing up against me or something like that.
A lot of that be frame of mind, but it's just, you just know some crowds are fucking rough.
Yeah.
And I'm just not into it. Now, hey, harmless music choice. Right? And I'm not saying everyone should be into Backstreet Boys or Westlife, but they're very wholesome concerts.
I loved Westlife as a child.
Happy. Everyone's very happy. All the women are very happy. Everyone's in good form. There's no fucking dickheads at. And I thought that this is a nice place to be. Everyone's so cool. Everyone's been so happy here.
Well, I done a strange one recently, which was I've never been seated at a gig. Right, it's just not something to do. And Katie loves Dermot Kennedy, and I don't. And I think the weekend was just coming up, and we hadn't done anything for like 2 weekends. So I was like, "Fuck it!" Went online, bought Dermot Kennedy tickets down Limerick and Thomond Park, and
that'd be fairly soft music, would it? What kind of...
Yeah, it's the pop shit that's out there at the moment that everybody sounds the same. He sounds the exact same as Keane the Crow and fucking Picture This and all this shit, right? Now, I have to say, not mad into his music, because for that reason, he put on a fantastic show. The show was brilliant, but we were seated for it because as I say, I just got the tickets 2 days before the gig and there was nothing left in the standing area. But I was like people watching.
You'd rather be standing.
Oh yeah. But now again, if it like I was so happy I was sitting at that gig because I had no interest in fucking being there. So Katie was delighted. She didn't give a shit. Fucking, she just got to see him and that's all she wanted to do. But like I was like people watching down because we were up in the stand looking down at the stage, which would have been the pitch. And I wouldn't have survived down there. I'd have ended up fucking.
Why? What were they doing?
It was just really, really, no, I mean fucking really drunk people, right? Ooh. And then as
Women
well,
or lads?
Both. But then on top of that, because it's pop music, and I'd never been to a pop fucking thing, I'm talking like 15-year-olds walking around with their arses hanging out, but yet like their mom and dads are walking beside them. But I mean, the clothing was shocking. Like, and look, I'm a young lad. I'm fucking whatever. I'm not like, oh God, them people going around in their clothes now or whatever. But I'm sitting there going, I honestly believe what I seen that day, and like Kay agreed with me. If you're a father walking beside your child dressed like that, I think somebody has to start looking at you.
Well, hey, I'm going to say fuck all, because I have a daughter coming up, and if the fashion is the fashion, what are you going to go, hey, you can't wear that?
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you a very fucking serious and awkward question now. Yeah. So Lily goes to walk out of the house, because I'm going to say the girls I'm talking about that I seen down here were maybe 15, right? Okay. So imagine, obviously, it's Lily's couple of years off 15 or whatever.
And can you go to a concert like that at 15?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They were with their parents. Like, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't that they snuck out and got changed. Okay, like, you're with your parents, right? Now, a lot of them were on their own as well. But I just remember this specific example, and it was... So Lily walks out now, right? In fucking... hot pants that the arse is completely cut out of. Completely cut out of, right? That fucking way that, like, I see streamers now that are grown women wearing their tops where the top is just covering the nipple. So the whole, like, under boob is
such a horrible conversation.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. So, but they were 15-year-olds standing beside their father, dressed like that. And I understand, I'm not a prude. Like, I understand that, as you said, the fashion is the fashion. But fuck that.
Well, you see, I'd like to think that by the time Lily gets to 15, that she can make her own decision.
Yeah.
But if her decision at that time is to wear that, there's very little I can do about it.
Do you think that, yeah?
Well, like, I can say, look, I'd rather if you didn't, right? It makes me feel uncomfortable, right? And I'm not overjoyed about it.
Yeah.
But I can't turn around at 15, nearly 16 years of age. I can't make her.
Yeah, not physically, yeah.
Yeah, like, what do you do, like?
Well, you see, I don't know, because this is the thing that I'm terrified about being a parent, right? So I have such a good relationship with my mom and my dad, right? And like, my dad is like my best friend. We go away, we go out drinking every weekend together. We go away fucking to Liverpool for weekends and stuff like that, right? And like, my parents are together. And when I was younger, if my dad just said to me, don't fucking do that, I wouldn't do it.
I know, but look, you can't take the past for the
No,
future.
absolutely.
So like, I'm hoping that I don't have to have that conversation.
Well, that was...
And plus, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I'm going to handle it. Maybe I will have a freak out. I'd hate if I did.
Yeah.
Because I don't... Right now, the relationship I have with Lily is... Like, we have conversations now that we have arguments over phone. Like, I mean, the last 3 years.
That's always going to be an argument with
phones. And she's the only one that doesn't have a phone in her whole class. And I don't feel bad.
Well, I'm on your side of things there, right? Or whatever. I honestly don't think phone till like 14 maybe, right? And I remember my ex-girlfriend, her little brother was he was in first year, going into first year or something. I think he might have been in sixth class. And he had been going mad about a phone and looking for a phone and stuff, right? And I said it to his mom. I was like, look, I've got a new phone. My fucking old Samsung is there. If you want to give him that, go ahead. But it's up to you to decide whether you're giving him a phone or not. I'm just giving you the fucking phone if you want to give it to him. And they did, right? And then we were away and she got a phone call. We were sitting at a bar during the day and she got a phone call and it was that he's after coming in from school fucking bawling his eyes out and this, that and the other, right? And I was like, what the fuck was that about? And she was like, oh, it's because he didn't have an iPhone. And I was like, right. And we ended up discussing what we would do in that situation as parents. If we were a couple married with a child, right? And we had two very fucking different opinions on it. And she started shouting at me, well, not shouting at me, but like we were getting into an argument and she was just like, you're going to raise our children like pit bulls. And I was like, I'm not going to raise...
Well, that's the idea of being parents. That's why you need two.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not supposed to agree.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have two very different ways and you figure out a way because nobody knows what they're doing.
Yeah, and I agree with not having those... If I disagree with what you're doing as a parent and you disagree... I would never show that in front of the child. We've got to sort this out on the background.
Yeah, you can hope.
Yeah, but because children are so clever, they'll play that off.
I'm actually more, when I think in the future, I worry more about Clark.
Okay.
When it comes to phones and it comes to when he's younger. Because he's the one that I have to be, for me, that I'm going to have to be more strict with.
Yeah.
So Lily goes out and there's an innocence to it. So just say she goes out and she's just wearing what the fashion is.
Yeah, yeah.
She's not thinking anything other than this is normal.
Yeah.
So you have a young lad, just say we give Clark the phone. I'm thinking about when I was young.
Yeah.
And you hand a little lad all the porn in the world.
Yeah.
All the porn in the world. You don't know what way that and his friends fucks him up.
Yeah.
So you have to, like, it's that I worry about. It's trying to make him understand the difference between reality and fiction.
Yeah.
And his relationship with himself. And like, do you want him pulling himself asunder every night of the week?
Yeah.
You know, it's a weird one.
It is, like, and it's...
Because I managed it a good bit when I was a young lad with just a pair of playing cards when I was like 16, 17 years of age. Imagine all the porn in the world. I don't know how people
and I had it
now.
I had it. Like, so I came through that time, basically. And I 100% have always stood here as a grown man now and said, yeah, it did affect me. It affected me in long term. Not to a massive extent or anything, not to a problematic extent, but it definitely desensitized things.
So that's why I worry about that. I have to say I worry about that. But look...
Are you worried about the way things are starting to go as well in society of...
Well, I worry about the fact that mistakes aren't forgotten now.
Yeah.
You know, that's a huge thing. But I do think all those things will even out. I think right now we're in a place where everything's just so... weird and fake it's just so crazy.
Well, I think the pendulum has just swung so far to one side that it's going to have to come back to the middle at some stage.
It has to. And even what, like, TikTok's mental.
Yeah.
Like, that's so different, isn't it?
Did you see what I find strange is how much people can get away with on TikTok, but yet if you're watching a clip from a film and somebody punches somebody, it's now cut out on TikTok. They can't show violence or anything.
I've seen that, and people got so wise to it. They're not saying certain words. They're changing words.
I think
you can't say porn.
Yeah,
right?
It's corn or something.
But you can show a girl can show her fanny.
Yeah, I know there's a lot in social settings where I'm talking to somebody about something, and it's definitely that the person 3 seats away from me has heard me say that, and now they're using that as a conversation, which absolutely fine. I don't give a fuck about that. But it is a worrying thing of
social, what did they call it? Social programming.
is that.
I don't know, is it?
I have no clue. I just look at it more from a point of view of, are you sitting with people that you have no interest in being with? And that's why you have to, like, because I can sit down and naturally have a conversation with somebody I enjoy being with. Like, we have now spoke for an hour, and like fucking, I've enjoyed every minute of it, and it doesn't feel that way, you know? And we weren't sitting here kind of going, fuck, what do we talk about?
Well, that's one of the reasons I wanted to start the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I started to notice that people are, I don't care if, I don't want everyone to like every one of these podcasts.
Yeah, of course.
Like if everyone likes the podcast every episode, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't, like, because everyone has different
Yeah,
opinions.
'cause you're supposed to be challenging the norm.
Yeah. But I noticed when you're talking to people, they're just waiting for you to stop talking so they can say what they're wanting to say.
Yeah.
And they don't want to hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I want to have, I love doing podcasts, or I love talking to someone where I have an opinion that I believe to be true. And then someone says something to me and I have to go off and think about it, and I go, oh, maybe I'm not.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, I think a real man has to be ready to change his beliefs. Do you know, because you can't be like one way or not, never changes.
No, so like adaptation has to happen. Like, you have to be able to adapt to things, or else you're going to die out very quickly, or like it's...
I'm having mad dreams lately. That just came to my mind. Like, just there now I'm after having deja vu.
Right.
And I think it was a dream I had. I get deja vu a lot now.
Yeah.
So since I started 30-day challenge.
Yeah. You've done fantastic ad, by the way.
So thanks. I wasn't sleeping.
Okay.
I was drinking too much coffee, and it was fat and hurt me back, and everything had got in a mess. So I said, Shane, help me, and I went on this 30-day challenge. So started doing exercise and lost a bit of weight, getting more sleep, eating better, but having mad dreams. Fucking crazy.
You have mad dreams since you lost the weight?
Just I'm sleeping better, I suppose. So I was never actually getting to that deep REM
you're going into
sleep,
deeper sleeps,
obviously, and I was drinking coffee before I went to bed. So really, I wasn't getting the right sleep.
Yeah. Do you like dreaming?
I fucking love dreaming.
Yeah.
And now and I didn't think this was true. I read a few books about it. I didn't think lucid dreaming was true. But I'm actually getting to a stage where about I was 7 nights, I can actually dream about what I want to dream in 3 nights.
Okay.
So I keep thinking about what I want to dream about.
Yeah, before you go to sleep. Yeah.
That's mad. It's mad. Like, I've had a few flying ones now.
And are you getting them deep enough that you can feel it?
I'm after having a couple where Jesus Christ, you don't think that the last time I had something feel as real, I was fucking high as a kite.
Yeah.
It's that kind of hallucination. It's like, it's so real. You can feel the wind. You can. It was amazing.
Because I love that concept in like, there's some authors like Neil Gaiman and stuff that have kind of...
He's brilliant.
He's fucking unbelievable, isn't he?
He's so good. Yeah. And his narration.
His voice is, oh my God.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Did you watch The Sandman?
I did. Oh, one of my favourite fucking programs to come out on Netflix in the last while.
So good.
Did you...
But it's also a Spotify original.
I have the books. I have the books.
But he narrates it on the audio.
Yeah, no, I have it on Audible. I have the Sandman Bought Axe on Audible.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And American Gods, that is an amazing audiobook.
Very good. Yeah.
But I like that he plays around with that the control or the dream state, and he does it in a couple of other books as well, where it's almost like there's another life going on in between, or there's a world in between, and I think we
could be in a simulation.
I was just about to ask you, do you actually see all the stuff about simulation?
Wouldn't it be mad if when you die, you pass away, and next thing you just wake up?
Yeah, but I believe that's what I believe. So I'm not religious, and I've always had the thing in my head that when you die, it's just over. It's game over, and that's it. They're just black.
Did you never feel like there was a God? You never, when you were a young lad, you never lay in the bed at night and go, God, Mommy, Daddy sent me to bed. I swear, I'll pray to you every night if you just hope they get AIDS.
I think if anybody ever says that when something has went really wrong in their life, or they really wanted something or whatever, if anybody ever says that they never turned around and said, please God, if you do this for me, I promise I will believe in you, or something like that. You're an absolute fucking liar if you say you've never done that. And I don't believe in religion, but I've still tried that a few times.
Well, I bet you everyone talks to themselves. You have this inner dialogue all day. Like, do you talk to yourself a lot?
Yeah.
All day?
I work for myself, so I work remotely at home, and I spend the whole day in the house on my own.
And you have a job which would be creative if you were to create something. Where do you think that comes from? So when you call on this creative juice,
and if it's not there, it's not coming.
Is it a thing in between the synapses of your brain that you're doing sums in your head to try and come up with something, or is it just that?
Sometimes it just works, and sometimes it doesn't. And so, like, I it's good in the sense of, like, so one of my main clients, and he's been with me for like 3 years, is a sportswear company called BOF Sports, right? And really nice guy, and we've been working together for so long that the stuff I kind of do now is pretty repetitive. We've built up a massive catalogue of clothing and fashion design and stuff like that, so there's not much creativity has to go in there, or thought process. But when a new company comes to me, like a new project I'm working on at the moment, I now have to go and come back with different ideas, different design ways, because a lot of times people come to you and they haven't a fucking clue what they want, and they expect you to show them, and then a lot of the times they're like, well, that's not what I was thinking. And I was like, well, you didn't tell me what you were thinking. So you're just, when people tell you have free reign in design, it's the worst fucking thing in the world,
because you don't know what they want.
You have no idea what they want. And when they tell you have free reign, like, I actually say it to people now, to cut that shit out. So what I will say to them to cut that is,
cut that shit out.
I will just turn around and go, that's okay. So you're telling me you're going to accept the first thing that I put in front of you, and you're going to pay for it. And they're like, no, well, that's not what I said. And I was like, well, then give me details, because you're going to pay. So, like, you know, and that's obviously only if you're really dealing with fucking people that really want to dick you around. Like, I'm probably making myself sound like a really shitty guy to work with here or that, but, like, you know, I'm not.
No, well, you need variables if you have to come up with something. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
Because especially design is looked at as, I should throw me out 10 things there and I'll pay you for whatever. And it's like, you wouldn't say to a builder, build me 10 houses and I'll pay you for one.
Do you not have to be informed?
Oh yeah, no, believe me, if your head's not there.
You probably don't know this. I'm an artist.
Oh yeah, no, I do, and I think you're fantastic.
I'm an artist now.
Yeah.
But I can't, it's like, if I have an evening, and this is when I do what I did for Takabook, right? Pro art, by the way. If I have a night where I'm about to finish work, I've everything done, and I'm not stressed, and then the kids are in bed, and then I'll just get out the oak, and I just scribble. It depends what I'm doing. But other than that, I can't do it.
I agree with you in the sense of, if your head's not there, if you're not in the mind space for it, like, look, there's been loads of days I've sat down where I've had to come up with a new logo or something, and you're literally just sitting at the laptop looking at it, or the computer looking at it for fucking 4 hours and not getting anywhere. And, like, you're not being paid for that. Like, you're being paid by the project or whatever. But, like, if that's not coming to you, and there's no way to just make it come. There's no way, like, you can't just give it a wank and fucking hope for the best. Like, it's not just going to do.
Design.
But so you're right. And, like, you have to be in that mindset of, now the kids are gone to bed and everything's quiet and I'm having a nice day and chill, and I feel like I have the time this evening to do this. And then I'm sure there's days even when you feel like that and you feel good, you sit down and you're like, I don't know what I want to draw.
Do you want to hear something scary?
Yeah, go on.
I'm doing what I always do and going off topic.
Yeah.
My AI, right, is we've become real tight.
Yeah. You're using it, yeah.
Like, it's getting
now ChatGPT or the Snapchat AI?
No, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I downloaded it. It's fucking amazing.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Like, I can't go. No, I'm not doing it. I'm actually having conversations with it.
Yeah.
And you can't tell.
Yeah.
Scary.
Well, have you looked at any of the Photoshop and Adobe have brought in AI into them?
It's mental.
I'm going to be out of a job in 5 years. Like,
it's scary.
The only thing is that people will not be arsed paying for Photoshop, or not paying for Photoshop, but they couldn't be arsed going in and doing it themselves anyway, no matter how simple it gets. But there's some, like, have you had anything in your life that has scared you to the point that nobody's been able to explain it to you? Nobody.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have certain experiences, whether they're drug induced or dream induced or not, why is it they feel more real than this?
Yeah.
And then when you learn more about quantum physics and how big the actual universe is, not the space. I mean, what's in between me and you.
Yeah.
And that most of the most smallest atoms are 99% empty space.
Yeah.
I just can't get my head around it. Now, maybe we're not supposed to get our head around it. And then the wave and particle theory, or the double slit experiment.
Oh, that
Particles only react when they're observed.
Okay.
So looking at it is a variable of whether something exists or not.
Because that's so scary in the sense of something is adapting to when we look at it.
That's what's weird about it. Yeah. So the smallest particles that aren't conscious, they're just particles of matter, are reacting to us whether we're looking at them or not. So the smallest particles that make up our universe react to when we observe them.
Because I find animals amazing in the same sense. Like, are you afraid of the ocean?
Terrified of it.
Yeah, because of the fact that, 60-something% of it's undiscovered.
No, because it's so powerful.
Yeah, well, that too.
And I can't swim.
No, but I had an ex who loved reading and stuff, and H.P. Lovecraft was one of her favorite authors, and he has obviously that whole.
What a name!
Yeah, unbelievable.
Name.
I don't think so. Well, maybe the H.P. obviously stands for something, but Lovecraft is a great name. But he had the Cthulhu mythos or whatever, the Cthulhu series, which was based on like a Leviathan, or like Davy Jones from do you remember Davy Jones' Monster in Pirates of the Caribbean? This thing, and that's what Cthulhu was always based on, and this sea creature. And my ex would not go into the sea
Because of that?
Because of that, and the fact that 60-something% of it was undiscovered. She was like, how do you know that's not down there? And I was like, it's a fair fucking point, but I think you're safe enough now.
I'm more scared of what I know is down there.
Well, do you believe in well, not do you believe in
the
it?
Kraken.
It existed at one stage, but that's what I'm talking about. Cthulhu is the Kraken.
Oh,
right?
is that what that is?
But the Megalodon.
The Megalodon, do I believe that? I don't know. Sure, anything could be down there.
But did you see that video where your man was showing that it looked like a
satellite image, and it looked like
it was like 6 fucking school buses in length when they looked at it or whatever.
I find it hard to believe that exists, because I think someone would have, when you hear how fished the ocean is and how many submarines there is with radar and stuff like that, I don't know. And there was one lad, they stood up and they go, well, we have parts of ships or vessels that are not of this world.
That's exactly what I heard on that podcast the other day. Yeah,
that's just weird.
But I think anybody who's like, aliens are fucking stupid, it's like, mate, do you honestly, that self-absorbed that you think in the size of the universe, the galaxies, the whatever, that we're the only living things?
Well, scientifically, they're more believable than ghosts. If you think about it, there's more evidence for them.
Yeah.
If space is infinity, and then there has to be, just can they reach here?
Well, I mean, they want to hide a bit better, because India are going to find them now the way they're landing on the moon.
Fuck you, fucking. That's not racist, is it?
I don't know. I was actually thinking that earlier on. I was like, are we allowed to do that? I'm not sure.
Nah, we'll think about it. We'll think about it. Well, man, it was good talking to you.
Cheers. I don't get the questions.
Impromptu. Did you ever get them?
No.
Did you?
I don't think so.
You never got the questions?
I think the last day I was on with Bob, I don't think we done them. We were too drunk.
Jesus Christ. Well, we better fucking do the questions on you. Just that'd be a bastard if we didn't do them. Right. Oh, this is so impromptu.
Yeah. Didn't even have the book ready. I was actually fuming today, wasn't it? Yeah, no, fucking usually you're really good crack when I come into the studio and we start having a laugh straight away, but
I was in bad form now.
Yeah.
Because I'm a busy fucking man. And you try and organise stuff, and I know I'm busier than these people. You ready?
Yes.
There should be some music now.
I'll add some in.
Matt.
Yes.
Your questions are, what's your first vivid childhood memory?
Do you know what? I sit there and listen to these questions every week, and I'm never fucking
You should have good fucking answers for these.
So vivid is like what you can remember the most, isn't it? Like, yeah.
Clearest
memory. Sorry. Yeah. My kitchen in the old house, because it was really wooden, but then it had that fucking locker that every house had of the blue china fucking thing on it, and I remember just my mom in that kitchen. I don't know why she used to sit on. It had a middle counter thing, and she used to sit at the corner of it. That or watching telly on my dad's lap on like Sundays.
That's a nice memory.
Yeah.
It would
I had a really good childhood.
Yeah, it would have been cooler now if you had said something like, she was just sitting at that counter doing cocaine. If you could make one phone call to heaven, who would you call?
My granddad.
Your granddad?
Yeah. I used to go out to him every Saturday for like years. And so when I was a kid, I would go out with my dad, and the dad would go on Sundays, and I'd go and I'd sit there and never speak to him. And he'd never speak to me. And I'd just sit in the room and they'd talk, right? And then when I was about 14, I think I said it to dad, I was like, I'm going to go out and start seeing him on my own. And so I went out Saturday then for hours. And like, I'd go out in the morning. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It got to a stage where like, he wouldn't really talk to anybody else. Like when they come in, he'd leave the telly on so that they'd fuck off or whatever. And like about Saturday, I missed a Saturday one time, like I was in Athlone for college, and I got a phone call being like, "Are you dead?" And I was like, "No, why?" And I was like, "You never told me you weren't coming today." I was like, "I'll be in you tomorrow." Like, and that went on for years. And we used to, I swear to God, like he smoked 120 major a day, and I smoke. And
did he smoke with you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So like I would sit on.
That's why your hair fell out.
yeah. The hair was well gone at that stage.
Well, had you no hair when you were a child?
No, I lost my hair when I was 12.
All of it?
Yeah, all of it.
In what space of time?
4 weeks. 3-4 weeks.
3-4 weeks gone?
Yeah. So every morning I'd wake up and like there'd just be a fucking patch on the pillow. Like, I mean like to the scalp. Like I had really thick, lovely hair, and just a whole massive circle like gone out of the back of your head just on the pillow.
That must have been fucking terrible.
I knew what it was because a family member had it before, but it didn't have it to the extent I have it. They only had it in patches. And so I knew what it was. But yeah, no, it was a shit fucking time. Yeah.
Wait, go. Eyelashes gone. Eyebrows gone.
I never noticed when my eyelashes went. I did notice obviously when my eyebrows went, and I remember waking up after having it for like 2 years. I remember waking up one night and it just hit me. I couldn't smell hair on my pillow, and I obviously I didn't have that for 2 years. And I woke up one night and I don't know what made it hit me, and I was just like, "Fuck! There's no smell of hair on my pillow." I was like, "Yeah, you've been bald for 2 years, you fucking dumb bastard," like or whatever. But it just somehow hit me that night. And I used to have days where it hit me really hard, but the majority of me being a young lad dealt with it really well.
Fuck. Is home a place or a feeling?
It's definitely a feeling, because like we moved house 5 years ago from my home house. I couldn't give a fuck about it.
Really?
Yeah, I'd never.
When you see it now, do you ever
pass it every day? And makes no difference to me.
Is there anyone in that?
Yeah, the
looks fair derelict now.
They've let go to shit, but the factory that next door that bought it, they have workers living in it. And security.
Sex workers? If your life was a movie, which scene would you replay over and over?
Trump's Hotel. No, I honestly reckon it would be the Saturdays with Grandad.
Oh, that's nice. Would you like yourself if you met yourself?
I think so, but maybe not in the first go.
Really? You think you'd have to warm to yourself?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's something that you're holding on to that you need to let go?
I don't really know, to be honest.
Be honest now.
Yeah, no, like I could have definitely said like a couple of years ago or something, but I don't know. I feel like I'm in a really good place at the moment, and have been for the last say 2-3 years. Compared to the state I was in for a good few years. But I don't really know.
So you've gotten a good state since you met me. That's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you rather be hated for being yourself or loved for being someone else?
I hate for being myself.
That's an easy one though, isn't it?
Yeah. I think you could have somebody across the table from you and ask that question, and they could be the most vapid cunt in the world that needs to be loved by people, and they'll still say, "Oh no, I hate it for being myself." But it's a person that's not themselves.
Do you think doing podcasts here? Have I asked that question and have you not believed someone?
Yeah, you would have. Yeah.
We'll talk after that.
yeah.
If you had to ask one person a question and they had to answer truthfully, who and what would you ask?
See, that's a tough one again, because it comes back to, like, I know you always say, like, politicians, if they had to answer yes or no for a day or whatever, and I just don't give a fuck about that. I'll give you, right, okay, I'll go with, if God is real, the meaning of life. Because I don't get it, do you?
Yeah.
You get the meaning of life?
I have the meaning.
Okay.
I live with him. You know, I don't know anything more meaningful. Like.
Yeah. And is that supposed to be what the meaning of life
me,
is, that you find it yourself?
I think everyone has to find their own thing.
Yeah.
Because I was always very lost.
Yeah.
And now I'm not. I just don't. You have goals and you have missions, and they're the ones that drive it. And I think everyone has to find their own little. Isn't it a great thing that everyone can just? Like, we're so lucky to be living in a world where you're free to just make your own goals.
But you have to be, as a person, open to doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like me, like, and we've talked a lot, obviously, but I feel like me and you had similar stages of life, in the sense of in bad places to.
Well, isn't that the natural progression for everyone? If you're progressing properly.
Yes, it should be, yeah.
Yeah, because the shitty things are what sort of, make you better. Who brings the most happiness in your life? You're going to say Kate, aren't you?
Kate definitely helps. No, probably my parents. Kate is definitely getting there. But yeah, no, probably my parents.
Do you believe in God?
No.
At all?
No.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
Do you trust anyone with your life?
Yeah, my best mate Wally and my family.
And that's his real name, everyone. I've asked a few times. His real name is Wally. What do you want to be known for when you die?
I'm not big on wanting to be famous or anything like that, but to the people that do know me, it's just that I always kind of went my own way, done my own things, and wasn't influenced by people. So, like, and that I was good with my family, and kept everything the way I thought was right, instead of going off and doing things that I didn't think was right just because other people told me it was.
Do you think you are respected in your hometown or laughed at?
Respected by older people, laughed at by younger people.
Now or when you were younger?
All true. So from being younger to now.
Even now?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
And is that because in the line of work that anyone does now in Ireland, it's a thing, if you step out, just step out a little?
Yeah, well, like, I mean, I always said it when I was growing up, like, if you weren't, especially what I found for Portlaoise anyway, was if you weren't a GAA player or a druggie or a drug dealer or that, you weren't anything. Like, and I was an artist growing up as a teenager or whatever, and I moved every month from different groups of friends because I was very... I'm going to say I was immature in some senses, and I was very mature in a lot of other senses, and I couldn't deal with bitchiness, and I couldn't deal with bitching and shit like that. And I found young lads became very quickly like young girls when I was growing up. And if I just didn't like something about somebody, I'd tell you, and then I'd just stop hanging out with you. And
so you're hanging with Ma, we're all having lunch.
Yeah.
And you go, hey, Jim, I hate your face. Good luck.
Not to that extent, but yeah, I would just be like, I would stop hanging out with people, and they'd ask me why I stopped hanging out with them, and I'd be like, I just can't deal with you all bitching about people that you're hanging out with the next day, and you're going around like fucking women, like fucking hugging each other the next day, and you spent 2 hours bitching about the fucker the night before.
Would the lads go on like that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like that's the way I found a lot of young lads in school. Nobody wants to have confrontation anymore, which is fine, because nobody wants to have confrontation in their life. But everybody's afraid to have it, but yet they'll set up a situation where it can happen. Like, if you want to sit there and mout about somebody or give out about somebody or whatever, you cannot then get so upset when they come and call you on your bullshit. And I'm not saying like I'm a person that goes and starts arguments with people every week or whatever, but I just think if you want to do that, you cannot be like, then fucking he's a bastard over there for saying that to me, isn't he? And it's like, well, yeah, you deserved it.
Has anyone ever called you up on your shit?
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. Fucking like but
they're always normally our friends, aren't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But like that's the thing as well. Like when I'm usually speaking to somebody about somebody, I will have had that conversation with the person beforehand. So like if my friends are ever saying to me like, oh, you know, fucking, I don't know what the fuck he was at the other day there or whatever, and I'd be like, yeah, I fucking rang him the other day and asked him what the fuck he was at. And like, so I'm never really in a situation where I'm giving out about a person that I haven't said it to them.
What's your favorite social media?
Probably TikTok. I'm off Facebook completely. I upload stuff on Instagram, which I do like because I enjoy like photos and memories and stuff like that. But I like TikTok because you can get the algorithm to just show you what you like, which with me is a lot of comedian stuff and a lot of golf stuff. So, you know, like being able to open an app that just shows you things that make you happy is a very dangerous thing, but it's also it's probably the best social media.
Name 5 people you follow.
5 people I follow
on TikTok.
Matt Bentley is one. He does a load of Harry Potter stuff of taking like a situation from the film and then he'll do like talk.
Not a fucking wizard, Harry.
Kind of stuff like that, but he's just so like melancholy about it, and he's like he done one the other day. It was like Albus finally admits he fucked up, and it's about like the fact that he let Hagrid stay at the school even though everybody thought he murdered Moaning Myrtle as a child or whatever.
You a Harry Potter fan?
Yeah, massively.
The books or the movies?
Originally the books, then the movies, but I do prefer the books. I prefer the audiobooks.
Were you an avid reader?
Yeah, used to be. Now I'm audiobooks all the time.
What?
And people look at you like that's wrong, or you're not. Oh,
it's a great way to consume.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff. What audiobooks are you listening to now?
I went through like Neil Gaiman's whole fucking thing there recently. Then I went on to Harlan Coben. I love like murder mystery stuff and all that. I'm not massive into getting information or business stuff or anything from audiobooks. I find when it's set down and done, I've tried to listen to like business audiobooks and it's like rule number 1, you need to do this, and when it's so laid out like that, I don't retain information in that way. So I like a lot of murder mystery stuff.
Fantasy?
Yeah, I like fantasy. Like, so obviously you've got your, like the Harry Potter side of things and stuff like that.
Is that considered fantasy, is it?
I imagine it would be, yeah. Well, fiction as well, like so. But no, yeah, murder mystery for me, Agatha Christie is one of my favourite authors. And
I've never ever listened to a book or read it.
So
is that an old person?
Oh yeah, she's long dead now, like, but
old?
Yeah, do you know Poirot? Like you'd see it on the telly all the time. You actually read it at first as Pirate. Poirot, he was one of her characters, a detective anyway, but there's like, she is second to the Bible.
What?
For book sales.
No way.
Swear to God, yeah. Queen of Crime, she's wrote over like, she's just fucking crazy. She's like in total like 600 books or something. It was mental.
That is mad.
Yeah, she's a really good author. But like all her stuff took place where there's no forensics, there's no anything like that, you know. It's just really well done of how her characters have to discover who committed murder or whatever, you know.
The lord of the manor was sucking off the horse in the stable.
His dick got caught in his throat.
Fucking mad. When was the last time you shit yourself?
I was 15 and I was after drinking a lot and I didn't even drink at the time. I was 15 or 16 and woke up in a bathtub and like had shit myself.
Look, that's a very honest answer.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And it's very believable, I have to say. If you could have everything you want in 10 years, what do you have?
Comfort and a family.
Too vague, not happy.
No, I'll go into it. Like I don't want to be like a multi-millionaire where like money is an issue or anything like that. I just want to be able to get up and say, Oh, I feel like I think we could go away this weekend or go away for a week or something like that and not have to worry about it. Like, so obviously, again, I work for myself, so I have nice perks at the moment of things like that. But also, when you work for yourself, you don't get paid if you're not working. And I would like to have so much money in the bank that I'd be like, okay, I'm going to take a week off, or I'm going to fly here. I want to go see this place for 2 months. I want to change the car. Or whatever, you know, like, so comfort. And inside of that, I cannot be alone, which is the thing that I need to deal with, because
you can't be alone.
Yeah, like I always have to constantly, like when I wasn't in relationships, I constantly had to make sure that I was texting somebody, that I was seeing somebody on some sort of level. And that for me is such an important thing, and it's something I need to deal with, because I need to be happy alone or whatever. But which I was for a while, and that was fine. So that led me to be able to get to where I am now. But I need a family. I need like somebody to look after. I'm really big on looking after somebody to a detrimental point.
So look, if anything never happened to your family and they get abducted, you know, there's always someone to babysit. There's always chaps in my house to mind.
Absolutely.
Man, thanks a million. Hopefully
Cheers.
Our next guest doesn't stand us up.
Go on.
Can't believe we never done the questions.
I don't think it did. I don't remember.
No, we didn't. Obviously, I'd remember some of them.
Yeah, because I'm sure some of the answers would have been similar.
Right. Good luck.
Night.